All right. Another podcast. Another day, another podcast. I'm watching an episode of Family Guy. Not even an episode of Family Guy. All I do now is I watch clips of Family Guy on YouTube and TikTok. So I don't watch Family Guy. I watch the Family Guy cutaways. That's what my viewing habits have become. I'll watch TikTok for 2 hours, but it's 2 hours of 1 minute videos. So I'm watching 120 videos. What'd you do last night? I watched 120 1-minute videos that are 1-minute segments of shows. And I got to tell you something. I really feel like on a lot of these shows that I'm watching, 1 minute, I go, all right, I got it. Which is horrible because, people put months, maybe years of work into these shows and movies. And I'm sitting here watching, 1 minute of Rick and Morty, which is a terrific show. And I'm going, okay, great. But it's bad because I'm leaving that with the thought of, now I've seen Rick and Morty. No, I've seen 1 minute of a 22-minute episode of Rick and Morty. I have not seen Rick and Morty. This does not count as seeing it. It'd be like reading the Wikipedia page of The Fountainhead and going, all right, I got it. All right, yeah. All right, I'm going to go ahead and say I read The Fountainhead. I used to have a joke about that with Harry Potter. I've seen all the movies, ergo, I'm going to tell people I've read all the books. And the truth is I have not. I have just seen all the movies. Better bowel movement today. That reminds me of what getting back before we go into the bowel movement in depth. One of the 1 minute clips of Family Guy. The joke was Peter was coming up with ways that he was going to get back at Lois. And one of the things he said was, I'm going to start a podcast that goes on for too long and doesn't have a focus. And I went, oh, God, that's me. I just don't know. Oh, and yeah, I really... Every time I try to have a focus with this podcast, it just doesn't feel right. Frankly, it feels better for me when it doesn't have a focus. But the problem is, I shouldn't be doing this for me. I should be doing this for an audience. Back to the bowel movement. I realized I'd been eating too much cheese, and I stopped the cheese, and things. Things are proceeding. The route has been cleared. The traffic's in the green now, or at least it's the yellow. It's not the red. So, just a reminder to myself: you're lactose intolerant, so that means you don't tolerate lactose. That's what lactose intolerant means, Josh. Oh, okay, great, perfect. Driving through North Hollywood, and it looks really not good. A lot of poverty, it's very dirty. Dirty, ashy. Just really it's not looking good. I was told yesterday that for the first time in a long time, more people have left California than have come to California. And that's, I don't know, my first reaction is, well, that's kind of nice, right? Maybe it won't be as crowded. The problem is the reason why they're leaving California is because, I've heard the phrase dumpster fire. We're literally on fire. It is literally a fire. And I love California. I would hate to leave California. I really would. But I read this article that was saying if climate change continues at some point towards the end of the century, maybe sooner, maybe in 10 minutes, somewhere between 10 minutes from now and the end of the century, California will literally be uninhabitable. It will be on fire. It'll be on fire, but somehow also a desert. It's going to be, it's going to become Mordor, basically. And everyone will have to go north because, all the northern states will become the temperate states, and all of the southern states will become hell. And that really terrifies me. I don't want to, I guess my choice is, the other thing I've heard about climate change, though, is that the seasons will become more extreme. So I guess my choice is, live on the surface of the sun, or go up north and have extreme summers and extreme winters. It's really, it's not a good sign. My other question is what's going to happen to the film industry? Because, if, these TikTok and if this social media really is the wave of the future, a lot of these people making these videos who are getting millions of views, they're not even in California. They're just, Hollywood has moved from Southern California to the cloud. Hollywood is now a concept. Hollywood is a philosophy. It's an organism that lives in emails. It's like the Matrix. There really is. You have to experience it for yourself. No one can see what the Matrix is. No one can explain what the Matrix is. You just have to see it for yourself. You have an agent? Yes, I do. Where is he? No, I think he's, I don't know where he is, but I'm pretty sure he's Ethernet, I think. The up-down is 10 megahertz. He's 10 megahertz. That's where my agent is. Yeah, very scary. Very scary because, I came out here. This is why most people come out here. It's, pursuing the Hollywood dream. And if there is no more Hollywood, or if Hollywood is now, if what used to take an entire studio can now be done in one's cell phone, and if that is becoming the content that is acceptable to consume, then Hollywood really does, shift or disappear. The dream I'm chasing is the dream of the past. I mean, it should be freeing. I guess I could go anywhere, but I really genuinely, Hollywood aside, I have liked the climate in California and the culture of California. I like the state. It is very expensive, but I have no desire to buy a house unless I can really, really afford to buy the house. So it's, I'm content just living in boxes, essentially, or tiny places. Yeah, I really, really scary. But I remember, I had a professor who said, sometimes you got to go left to go right. And maybe that is what this entails. Maybe the path to my destination is going to take me in a route I didn't expect, but it's something I need that my soul needs to really get to the next level. Maybe that's what this is. Maybe that's the lesson here, When life makes lemons, you make lemonade. When life makes lemons, you make lemonade. That's how I want to hear that being. I want the person saying that from now on, after the year we're having. I want the person saying that to be having the nervous breakdown as they're saying that, and then I will feel better about myself. Life's what's happening. You get lemons, and you make lemonade, but you can't drink it because your blood sugar. Oh, God. Yes, I'm not feeling a lot of... somehow I'm getting into a silly mood, which I apologize. My branding is depression, and this silliness is just... This is off-brand. I am so sorry. Please forgive me, my friends. Please forgive me. Silliness? Yeah, I'm driving down Magnolia Boulevard and I'm looking at, businesses that are closed now because of this. I mean, it's just horrendous. And just really sad. There we go. See, I told you I'd get back to the depression. Oh, maybe that should be the name of the podcast now. Depression within a depression. It reminds me of this Miyazaki, who made all the great animated films, Spirited Away, and the Howl's Moving Castle, and Nausicaa. He wrote a book, I guess an autobiography, and in it he talked about the things that are really ringing true for me. Is he's talking about why does everyone assume that there's always going to be power running through the power lines, and everything's always going to be okay? Because some of his stories involved dystopian futures, basically, where all of this falls apart. And my response to Miyazaki is, I'm no longer assuming that. It's an excellent question, Miyazaki. Excellent question. But the other thing he said that was a somewhat positive note is he said, things are not looking good, climate change, et cetera, but don't worry about it. Live your life. Have kids. Live your life. Just keep going. And it was a very optimistic thing that he said. Now, I think when he wrote the book, I'm pretty sure he was in his 60s or 70s. So, on the other hand, it's a little easy for him to say, live your life. It'll be fine. I mean, I'll be dead in 20 years, so I'm going to miss the worst of it. It's going to really, your kids, your theoretical kids, they're going to be, this is their whole lives. For me, maybe the last 5 years will be, bad. And then by then, I'll be done. But you go ahead and have kids, and they'll be fine. I always hate it when I pass by a truck that's parked in the middle lane of the street. that always scares the crap out of me, because I just, at any second, I'm afraid the guy's going to walk around behind the corner of the truck right when I'm driving, and that terrifies me. You know, I really do hate driving because of that. I'm terrified of hitting someone. I'm beyond terrified of it. Like if you had a lot of money, what kind of car would you drive? If I had a lot of money, if I was really rich, I would have a driver. And I would sit in the back, and I guess the more money I have, the more money I would throw at not having to feel guilty about things. That's what I would say. This podcast lacks focus. It's nice to know I'm inspiring somebody to write a Family Guy style joke about how much they hate podcasts as I podcast. One person once described this podcast as, what did he say? It was like meditative, or it lulled me into a. I think he used the word lull, which is always a good sign for a podcast. That is not specifically a relaxation tape. No, it lulled me. That was odd. I just exchanged looks with the guy in the car next to me who's not wearing a mask. Yeah, I don't think you need to wear a mask in a car, do you? If you're in the car by yourself, I'm pretty sure you can go maskless. I am wearing the mask. The guy's distinguished that I was looking at. Has a white beard. Looks... he's driving a Ford Mustang. And... the vibe I get, maybe a reporter, a distinguished reporter, like he broke a case that saved lives. And it's a Mustang from like I think the 90s or the early 2000s. So it's, he saved a few lives, but he never became a millionaire. Ford Mustang. Never really a fan of the Ford Mustang. You know what I'm discovering? I'm discovering I kind of, just a little bit, not a lot, just a little bit. Yeah, by the way, I'm passing over the 5 freeway. It is 9:18, and traffic is flowing smoothly. So that's how we know things are bad. When the 5 freeway looks empty during rush hour. That right there, if you're ever traveling through time and you're like, what year is it? You'll be able to tell pretty easily. Oh, this is 2020, or some horrible year in the future. I mean, this is just, I don't know. It's creepy. Creepy, my friends. Creepy. Not going to be something that is easily remedied.